All right. Green, black, Citadel. This is a deck that we've played a good bit of last season. It's a really sweet mid-range combo deck. So the combo is the card Bolas' Citadel here. You can look at the top card of your deck and you can play that card with your health total instead of paying mana for it. So this, paired with various Explore creatures and Path of Discovery to give everything Explore, allows us to combo play through our entire deck and eventually activate Bolas' Citadel to sacrifice a bunch of things and hit our opponent. One of the cards we got that's a sweet upgrade in the core set in addition to 4 Temples of Malady is Scheming Symmetry here. Choose 2 players, each of them search the library for a card, shuffle it, and then put that card on top of their deck. So this card is basically get whatever we want once we have Citadel in play. So we just get to pay like that 1 health premium to grab what we're looking for. I've got a couple of copies of Loaming Shaman here over Gaia's Blessing. This card does mean we could have a hard time fully going through our deck depending on when this card comes up in the combo cycle, but this card doesn't randomly shuffle our graveyard back in, so it gives us a little bit more control over which cards we're putting back into our deck, so we don't have to reshuffle lands, and it's another 3-2 for like mid-ranging people, which is nice. So let's go ahead and dive on in to some matches here and see how this feels. Hey Drusa, hope you feel better later today. This is fine. So one of the things that was the reason I like this deck, and to keep in mind when you're playing it, is this deck has a lot of draws that aren't combo focused in the slightest. You're definitely a mid-range deck that sometimes combos peoples, as opposed to a combo deck that sometimes mid-range peoples, if that makes sense. So a lot of your draws are more fair and interactive than anything else. Been that, looking for a 4th land here. Yeah, exactly. If you hit both shamans earlier, like if you draw a shaman like this, I think I have to bend that and just look for lands. Yeah, we tried a Sultai configuration of Citadel last week, and the conclusion was that both Yarok and the Risen Reef especially felt clunky and awkward while comboing. As always, if you're on mobile, there should be a little Stream Decker icon near the video player there that you should be able to click to see details on the deck list that we're playing. I'm gonna just drop Path to Discovery here. Hopefully we don't get Dovin's vetoed. You can also get Desparked. Those are both cards they play in their main deck on occasion. Feels bad if they have veto and like untap sweep the board. Bellhaunt, not quite a board sweep, but still doesn't feel great. I guess we're trophying this and just trying to pressure them out of the game. Yeah, the overlay for seeing cards that are on screen too from the like what the opponent has as well should also be working. It should also work on mobile if you use the extension. Yeah, and at this point we're just like hoping to draw Citadel because we got plenty of lands here. Woof, main deck cry. Who hurt you, opponent? What did they do? Why did they do it?
This isn't a fight you can win.
Citadel! Citadel! I think I'm just bottoming this here. As much as I want to have that to draw once we're comboing, like, I don't have a Citadel in sight, just like playing a 1-3 next turn is not very good. Every turn my opponent gets, the game slips further and further away from us. Apparently, MTG Arena is temp banning players who spam the can animation. Yeah, because the software is Moto adjacent, and people lag out if you click on the cat too much. So on a scale of 1 to dead, I assume this this Jadelight is like solidly on the dead side of the scale.
You know what? I'm not done yet.
I'm just at a loss for words. Like the finals of the Open was mono blue versus mono red. And this is a main deck Noxious Grasp. Like, this card's great, don't get me wrong. But, like, the Open Finals was just mono blue versus mono red. Which is why, like we always say, win or lose, don't put a lot of stock into what goes on in your ladder games in terms of telling you if your deck is good or bad. Hey, just keep this Bond of Flourishing. It gives me 3 looks. Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
That's more like it.
Assume I'm getting Thought Erasured here.
We need to move quickly.
Oh, good. Oh, good.
I'm known for my excellent timing.
And, like, I'm not conceding here because, like,
We'll meet again.
well,
With each turn of the clock,
well,
reality will crumble.
thanks for the tier 2 resub, Detroit. I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, like, we're not just dead yet. Like, I could still do this and then combo them, right? Alright. There goes the Citadel.
You just let me know if you're up for round 2.
They're at 4, though. I guess there's still 2 more Citadels in my deck. Like, I've got a lot of lands here. That's not good enough because they'll just get an answer to the Citadel or, like, get a card that draws them cards. It's not ideal.
It was meant to happen. Let's skip to the good part.
Yep.
That didn't go according to plan.
Yep.
Right on schedule. There was nothing. I really should have seen that coming.
This is 6, 7, 8, 9. They're going to exile 2 lands down to 7. So I think I just pass here because I have enough mana that I can go play a land, play Citadel, play Wildgrowth Walker. right? Because I have 5, 6, 7, 8. So I play a land that'll put me back to 8 after they take me to 7.
This is hardly my worst defeat.
I don't think we're at garbage time yet. Until they take me off of the ability to cast Citadel, we're definitely in this game. The title is just not refreshing today. Refresh that time. It was updated here on my end, but it's not updating it for you all out there for some reason. All right, so we can no longer play the Walker and the Citadel in the same turn. Yeah, I just hit it again. This is 6, so I'm gonna lose 2 lands next turn. So I have 6 right now, or 7 right now. They'll take 2 down to 5. I can play a land back up to 6 and cast Citadel still, so we'll take 1 more turn.
It's only a matter of time.
There's 22 cards in my deck, and there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards at the bottom. So we have 2 Citadels and 15 cards right now.
Only time will tell.
Meditate and prepare.
This card is much better than Lightning Helix would be. If there was a 2-mana black-white instant Helix, this card would be better than it in this format. Between the Planeswalkers they have that a lot of the aggressive decks feel the need to attack, so it gains them more life, and the fact that 3-mana Teferi can bounce it since it's an enchantment, I feel like referring to that card as Lightning Helix is doing it a disservice to how good it actually is. Definitely want Duress over Arboreal Grazer here. I probably want Trophy. I don't know if I want Noxious Grasp or not. I probably do. I probably do. Is Symmetry bad in this matchup since the control player always has an answer to their deck post board? So you don't understand why Symmetry's in the deck. So Symmetry is in the deck for when we're comboing. So Symmetry literally says, put the cards you want to cast on top of your deck. So the idea with Symmetry isn't you cast it, you wait a turn and get to draw your card. The idea with Symmetry is that mid-combo, it's an extra copy of what you're looking for. So like, do I need a Wildgrowth Walker? Go get that. Do I need the Path or whatever, the enchantment? Go get that. It goes and gets whatever I'm missing at that given point. So their deck just has so many 1-for-1 answers that we don't want to fight on that axis. The axis I want to fight on in this matchup is making sure that my opponent doesn't generate card advantage, because eventually we can stick something like a Citadel and run away with the game in that way. Although maybe I should take the Despark. Maybe I should keep the second Duress so I can take the Despark. Yeah, that's probably what I'm supposed to do. I'm probably supposed to keep that Duress so I can take the Despark, since Citadel is ultimately what I'm playing towards. Again, gonna trophy this because I want to fight their card advantage axis, which Search for Askanta certainly generates. Yeah, I think not keeping that other Duress was a mistake. I wonder if this deck wants, like, some copies of the Immortal Sun in the sideboard is another way to generate card advantage in a matchup like this. I could see that being very reasonable for us. Wayward Swordtooth looking a little mediocre here so far. Definitely regretting not taking this Despark. I think I just play this out, though, and, like, try and play a land or two off the top. Just as a veto, yep. Hey, J-Rock, thank you for the 7 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Hope your Monday is finding you well. Again, just prioritizing taking them off of all their sustained card advantage, because if they're just one-for-1ing us a bunch, we can eventually draw through that, especially if we hit a Citadel and it gets to stick for a turn or two. Alright, Duress is not a bad pickup. Lets us cut through this Despark here, ideally. Give another veto. Noxious Grasp, sure. Wasn't taking that one anyways. Wow, that's brutal. Shoot. So, like, the binding sorcery speed, but it locks me out of future Citadels. I only have one more trophy in my deck that can remove binding from the table, so I think I have to take that. Again, that Duress I binned earlier was a pretty big mistake. It's actual best draw in their deck.
Right on schedule.
It's their third Teferi, right? And 20 cards or whatever. Yeah. You think we're gonna throw a couple of Immortal Suns in the sideboard?
Keep up the pace.
Just put a pair in there. I'm gonna be done. We're not guaranteed to lose, but we're pretty likely to be dead from here. Yep. I mean, if we'd have had 3 Citadels, like they had 3 Teferis, we probably would have been okay there. Unfortunately, that was not how it worked out. Alright, let's do that and dive back on in, shall we? Yeah, I mean, decks like Esper, like we've talked at length about mid-range decks being really bad in this format, and our deck is a mid-range combo deck. So there are a number of things in this format that just like give us a really hard time just because mid-range struggles with it. Like the Citadel Axis gives us a nice way. The Citadel Axis gives us a nice way to kind of power through some of the things like mass manipulation. But in general, I think there's not the greatest positioning for this archetype right now, or just mid-range in general. Yeah, being at one of the extremes seems like an ideal position to be in currently. Field of Rune and Dusk Legion Zealot. The thing that makes mid-range bad in this format is the ability of most of the decks that exist in this format to go well over the top of what mid-range decks are able to do. So cards like Command the Dread Horde and Mass Manipulation, as well as the way in which Wilderness Reclamation and Nexus allow you to win the game, frequently allow you to catch back up from a position that's from a position where you're incredibly far behind. I think I gotta get rid of that. I didn't attack because I didn't feel like dealing 1 point of damage to them was worth losing, was worth taking 1 point of damage on the backswing, because this cannot block.
A mind is a terrific thing to waste. All I've left you is pain.
Yeah, I missed a point of damage. Doesn't really matter.
Ugh, what a whiner.
Again, sending just this here because I'd rather the Wildgrowth Walker survive. So if they're gonna kill one of my 2 threats and they want to keep their Planeswalker, I'd rather they kill this. So I'm sending the creature that I care less if it lives at their Planeswalker, because they're more inclined to kill the creature that's attacking their Planeswalker. Yep. It's just early and we just switched to standard nemesis. It's also getting late in the cycle, so I assume all the standard numbers, all my numbers across the board are going to start going down again. But we just started. This is our second match of standard, so we've been playing for like not even half an hour. In fact, the preview on Twitch is probably still a Moto preview. If I had to venture a guess. Nope, it's switched finally. Yeah, we'll see where we get to. The numbers fell way down into the dumpster today, or at the end of last season, so we'll see how low they get this season. I mean, a big part of that, Percy, is because the set didn't change much. Like, it feels like we've been playing with this forever because, like, the format didn't really change. It feels to me like, people trying to boycott Amazon stuff by not watching Twitch are probably going to be really sad when they find out how many different services they use in their day-to-day life run on Amazon AWS. I'm gonna do like 3 or 4 hits here to try and hit a, Alright, we'll just keep another Doom Whisperer here.
Loneliness can hurt. Time to run.
I wouldn't be surprised if they start just like doming us here. Oh, wow, they're still drawing cards, okay. Yeah, I mean, I guess they put good cards in their deck, huh? Yep. I can't take too many more hits here. I think I'm just gonna go ahead and draw this. We might just be able to pressure them out of the game at this point. If they have like a Ritualist, we could be in trouble next turn. No, I only needed one more permanent for the Blessing. If I needed 2 permanents for the Blessing, I would definitely keep the land there, but I don't. All right, how low can you go? Apparently not low enough. All right, so I don't really know what they're doing. Arboreal Grazer does not seem particularly good. Trophy and Immortal Sun seem fine. I don't think I want Duress against them. Maybe I bring in a cast down to like kill their shade thing. That seems fine. I would, if I was someone who was interested in playing the elemental decks, I would play lots of games with them against the aggressive decks in the format. I would be kind of surprised if those decks are very competitive against the various aggressive decks like Mono Blue and Mono Red, which both made the finals of the Open this past weekend. Let's do this first, because if we hit a temple, we can put that temple into play tapped. I can stay there. Give me a good chance to hit my land for next turn. I think I'd rather just have the Explore creatures here. Yeah, I mean, if you just, like, look at the average Elemental deck, the Elemental decks are, like, pretty slow and clunky. So anything that's, like, got a really efficient curve is going to tend to be pretty good against them, I think. He's got many, many hands, chat. Many, many hands. He's very, very grabby. I think we're looking for a removal spell so we can kill Ugin. We'll just keep that. So, I'm going to go ahead and just pass the turn here, because if they draw and play a Davriel, I want to be able to discard the Woodland Cemetery and give myself a chance to top deck a land to still play the Immortal Sun next turn. Now, I assume their mono black deck can only kill this Immortal Sun with something like Ugin, so they probably just can't take it off the table, huh? And Ice, thank you for the 13 months of support there. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So between powering up my squad and drawing 2 cards a turn here, I'd be pretty surprised if they can power through this one. Oh yeah, Ugin can't kill this for multiple reasons. Even if Ugin could kill, even if this had colors, Ugin still couldn't kill it, chat. Yeah, I agree, Pickle Bolas. In fact, one of the things I'm most, and I'm gonna use that evil world word. One of the things I'm most disappointed in decisions Wizards of the Coast has ever made, when they backpedaled on twice-a-year rotation, it was one of the most disappointing things, in my opinion. I think twice-a-year rotation would have been really good for the game, from a standard perspective. I think when they backpedaled on twice-a-year rotation, it was one of the points where they kind of got correlation and causation mixed up. Because when they backpedaled on twice-a-year rotation, they cited standard numbers being down as a big part of the reason why they were backpedaling. And in reality, standard numbers were likely down because the current standard format was just not good. Hot take, mono blue was never bad. People just got bored and wanted to play other things. Wouldn't 2 rotations a year not increase the amount of money needed to stay in the meta? Well, I'd argue the format, if you're being competitive, it's already really expensive to stay competitive. So, like, the amount of money you're actually saving if you're being competitive, like, you might not even be saving any money at all. Like, every time there's a set release almost, it's important to make updates to your deck. Also, and again, and this is the part that, again, where I think they made a bad decision. So, here's something that a lot of people don't get that I feel like wasn't considered. Twice-a-year rotation doesn't mean your cards have to be legal for less time. Imagine for a second a world where Magic standard format rotates twice per year, but all sets are legal for 24 or 21 months. A rotation of that style would actually make sets legal for more time than we have now, because for instance right now this core set's only legal for 15 months, but rotations make the game more exciting. So if you made all sets legal for 24 or 21 months but rotated twice a year, the casual players would get to play with their cards longer, and from a format changing perspective, we would have the format change more often. There's a lot of people that make this false equivalency of like, well, if we're rotating more often, my cards are legal for less time. And it's like, no, that doesn't have to be the case. Because right now, the way Magic's standard format works and the way it's kind of confusing to people, in Magic's current standard format, some sets are legal for 24 months and some sets are legal for 15 months. Some cards that you buy in standard are legal for like almost half the duration of some of the other sets. That's a big difference in my opinion. Yes, in my opinion, Cinnabar, they made the worst possible decision they could by backpedaling. If you aren't failing a little bit, you're not innovating enough. It's okay to not get it right the first time, but don't just give up when you don't get it right the first time. This hand's got a lot of acceleration in it. We get to go Grazer on 1 into Swordtooth on 2. The Teferi timer is depressing. It's supposed to be. Hands like this make me wonder if Grazer is better than Land War Elves in this deck. Like, obviously, Grazer is better against aggro, but, like, the fact that this burns a land out of my hand means that my Wayward Swordtooth has less lands to play out more rapidly later. As, like, for instance, if this was a Land War Elf, I could cast Doom Whisper this turn, right? Oh, this doesn't really... Someone asked if we cast this card yet. We haven't. We haven't had any good combo turns where we get to use it. And this is our first time actually drawing it. I don't think I actually... Yeah, I don't actually want to cast it here. We only have 2 copies of this card in our deck because we don't actually want to draw it and cast it honestly. We want to have it flip up while we're comboing to find us whatever piece we're missing. Someone asked me to try and explain more what I mean by some sets are legal for 15 months and some sets are legal for 24. The first set that gets printed when rotation happens is legal for 24 months. So the set that gets printed in October 2019 doesn't rotate until October 2021. However, the summer set, like this core set, is only legal for 15 months. The core set that just got printed will rotate out of standard in fall 2020. So guilds will be legal for 24 months because it got printed in fall 2018 and doesn't rotate till fall 2020. And then this past core set's only going to be legal for 15 because it got printed in summer 2019 and rotates in fall 2020. Magus Edge, thank you for the tier 2 resub. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So, the first thing I would ever do if I was ever hired into Wizards of the Coast is I would spend days or weeks poring over their internal data that's not public. Because they almost certainly have reasons for doing the things that they do based on information that's not, like, consumer facing, right? Like, I think it's really silly to assume that, like, we know best. And, like, we can make estimations, but really we should use words like likely, right? Or from the outside looking in, this looks like it makes sense. But we can't know with certainty. Yeah, no Carnage Tyrant here is rough. I think I just get a Citadel, like they're getting a counterspell, but I just hope to like run off a couple Citadels in a row. This card's exceptionally bad against counterspells. Again, we don't want to really draw it. We want it to flip up while we have Citadel and are going through our deck. Arc Memes, thank you for the entire year of support. Keep it up on the YouTubes. I wouldn't mind a Splinter Twin. Have a sword to go with your shield. Thanks for keeping me around. To someone who said they don't see the downside of making data public, if data is public, it removes the company's ability to control the narrative of what's going on inside their game. Yeah, it gives deniability. Lets them control the flow of what's going on. Yeah, we haven't seen any white cards out of them yet. I assume we're getting counterspelled, but, you know, YOLO.
Responsibility. No, I am not making this up as I go. This might be a bad idea.
I stand on the shoulder.
More than a few Thopter gifts. Content creators of all sorts, the ones that keep lots of games going, keep people's interest up. Four-color flash ad Teferi? Maybe. We're actually doing Jund mid-range next, BTW. I'm actually just not going to play this match out. This deck is just, like, way too slow and clunky to ever beat a flash deck. I'm gonna try one more match here to see if we can actually manage to go off, but this deck, this just feels too clunky to be good in this format. Hey, thanks for the 34 months, Tron Dragon. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I was tired of playing with plebeian non-foil cards, so I bought some mastery levels to get a couple of the foils I wanted. The Loaming Shamans have felt worse than the Gaia's Blessing. At least Gaia's Blessing, like, cycles. Like, the fact this Loaming Shaman just, like, kind of hangs out just as a 3-2 is, like, pretty mediocre. The core set limited format seems very reasonable. It was certainly okay when we were drafting. I mean, if they don't have a Mystic Snake or like main deck negate in 2 turns, the Citadel gets to come down and maybe we get to do stuff. Maybe.
I protect that which cannot protect itself. Behold, nature's true power.
Yeah, Swordtooth was one of our better draws here. It let us get not only an extra land down this turn, but now next turn when we play the Citadel, we'll have 2 land drops, so we're a little bit less likely to brick off. If we brick off, it's more likely we're going to be bricking because we've run out of lands. More so, it's more likely we brick off because we run out of life, more so than because we can't play lands. Yay. I'm a little sad to say it because, like, I really liked playing this deck in previous seasons, but I'm off of this one. I'm probably gonna pull this one off the website. I don't know. I don't know that I could recommend this in good conscience with the current format. Maybe I need to just like sort some decks into a meme category on the website because, like, what this deck is doing is pretty novel, but like, from a power level perspective and like truly keeping up with the other decks that are competitive that you're likely to see in the format, I don't think this is more against the odds than anywhere close to competitive these days, I think.